Hey everyone, I am so excited for the Age of Mythology Retold reveal. This is an RTS that's near and dear to my heart. I won't go over every single visual update in the revealed screenshots, just the ones that I think have something worth saying about them, and I hope you'll be interested. First up, if you look at the top of this Atlantean screenshot, you can see this very cube-looking Atlantean building that's unfortunately mostly out of frame. And I think what might be going on here is Sekhmet's Citadel god power being used on an Atlantean town center. In the original game, you can see that Citadel keeps the player's god statue in kind of the same location as in the Retold screenshot. So I think this is hinting that Sekhmet's Citadel takes on the architectural style of the civilization you use it on instead of always using Egyptian architecture. I also love what they did with the Wadjet. The patterns on its skin and wings are so much more striking, and I absolutely love that it has feathers now. They just look so cool. You can tell that the team heavily referenced this artwork for the Wadjet on its Wikipedia page, replicating the wing patterns and this circle with a line down the middle pattern on the back of its hood. We also got a look at the new artwork for Loki, and I love how sinister he looks. It's absolutely perfect. He's got this happy smile, but it's also extremely unsettling. It has so many of the design elements of the original artwork, but fleshed out and rendered and much more atmospheric. One thing I am curious about is why these ghostly wolves feature so prominently, both in his portrait art and in the key art. They don't look like the Fenris wolf brood units that we see in the Niflheim screenshot, so what are they? Is Loki getting some kind of rework that involves these spirit-looking wolves, or are they just here in the artwork? We'll have to see. Continuing with more Norse stuff, there are some big Norse boys over here who are hero units, but they're wielding spears. They might be a new unit, but whether they're unique to the campaign or available in multiplayer, we'll have to wait and see as well. Now, let's talk about this Norse building. I think this is new, but if I'm wrong, please let me know. This building seems to be a hall where a chieftain might reside. I initially thought this was a campaign-specific asset, like these huts, but then we see what looks like an upgraded version of the same structure in the Niflheim screenshot, so now I'm thinking maybe it's a structure that's new to multiplayer as well? Your guess is as good as mine as to what it could be though. Next, I want to talk about Gaia. I don't know about you, but two things slightly bugged me about her appearance in the original game. First, I have a friend who said that she kind of looks like a wrestler, and yeah, maybe her original design wasn't the most impressive way to convey the fantasy of this particular mythological being. The second thing that bugged me is that her appearance just lacked consistency. In-game, she looks like this, but in her portrait art and her town center and temple statues, she's depicted as a woman with human hair, wearing robes, and carrying a staff or crook. It's just so disjointed from her in-game appearance and always felt weird to me, as if the various people involved in the game's art weren't coordinated. Looking at the update Gaia got, I personally am a fan. I think that having her be this elemental being made of plants and fungus is a much cooler way to portray a titan, and I hope that the rest of the Atlantean pantheon, the other titans, also follow a similar design and look less human. It would be a neat way to show that these are ancient primordial beings that predate the Greek gods. And as the key art and this screenshot of her temple would indicate, it does seem like her appearance is unified and consistent across the board, really making the look of the Atlanteans feel more polished compared to the original release. Looking at another Atlantean thing, the Contarius, you can see that the head of their lance has been redesigned from the original, and now looks a little more like a trident. Tridents kind of have an association with water, and I think this change was made to give the Contarius a little more of an aquatic flavor, since the sea is such a big part of the myth of Atlantis. Again, similar to Gaia, I think the devs are just finding small ways here and there to give the Atlanteans slightly stronger flavor. Next, let's bounce back to the key art really quick and talk about Set. Our boy has been done dirty for over 2 decades now. When the game originally launched, it was Anubis on the cover art, as the representative for Egypt. Even on this print advertisement for the original game, it was Anubis who's featured. On one hand, it makes sense, because Anubis is probably a more recognizable god than Set. But on the other hand, Anubis is definitely the odd one out here, being a minor god, whereas Zeus and Thor are major gods for their respective civilizations. Anubis has been used in the marketing for so long, even for the extended edition, so it's nice to see Set finally get some recognition. And doesn't he look surprisingly cute with his little ears and incredibly long snoot? We've also got Athena over here. She's got quite a big change compared to her appearance in the original game, and I really like her new look too. This is just her appearance on the key art, but I can't wait to see her in-game portrait art. Finally, I'll just mention the rock. You can see that in the original game, it looks kind of like an eagle, and here's its new look in Retold. I don't know much about birds, but I was really curious what bird the new rock was based on, so I tried to find out, but couldn't find a good match. The closest looking bird I could find that would fit the region are secretary birds, and the new rock looks a bit like a mix between a secretary bird and an eagle. Fun fact, rocks are actually from Arabian mythology, not Egyptian, so perhaps the redesign was also partly inspired by a desire to give a little spin on the original Arabian myth. That's all I wanted to talk about specifically. Super excited for Age of Mythology Retold. It's going to be a great year for RTS. Thanks for watching.